بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The pastoral areas of East Africa witnessed almost no rains for 3 years. Their absence in early 2011 became a tipping point. Through that year, crops failed, rivers and wells dried up, and livestock perished. By the summer, millions of Muslims across the region were facing famine-like conditions. Though the famine's epicenter was in Somalia, nearby, northern Kenya was declared as an emergency zone. Lands here had become barren. Pastoral communities, traditionally so independent, were suffering greatly. Their livestock, so important for their food, income and security, were dying in huge numbers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers, we are in one of the rural areas of northeast Kenya. Here, the Kenyans, the locals and also the Somali refugees who have moved here and have been living here for many generations, who have been affected by the drought, recent drought, especially as it worsened last year in 2011. These people were traditionally always reliant upon livestock. So Somali people and Kenyan people out here in areas like these, they're shepherds, they rear animals, and they're very much reliant upon animals as a source of income, source of food, everything. Their whole life is dependent upon animals. So during the drought and famine last year, as it worsened, many of their livestock perished.
The drought-induced poverty in northeast Kenya became extreme. At its peak, approximately 1 million people were left with no food. Communities here, left to live alone, were suffering alone.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Wallahu fi auni al-abd, ma kana al-abd fi auni akhihi." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly in the aid of his servant as long as his servant is in the aid of his brother.
Through this crisis, Ummah Welfare Trust has distributed dry food rations across rural Somalia and Kenya, including at the Dadaab refugee camp, providing a cushion to thousands of families who have no support. Though short rains arrived in Kenya towards the end of 2011, relieving some of the pressure, millions were still food insecure. At the start of 2012, Ummah Welfare Trust shipped specially tailored food packages to Kenya for residents of the northeast province. Ummah Welfare Trust field worker Muhammad Taha followed the efforts to see how, thanks to your support, thousands of lives were being helped.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, as part of Ummah Welfare Trust's large-scale food distribution program here in rural villages of northeast Kenya, we have now come to the village of Sankuri. Alhamdulillah, we are distributing 300 food packages here to the residents of this village. This is one of around 35 to 40 villages which we are distributing in this week. This program will be ongoing, inshallah. Shipments are coming one after the other on a monthly basis to Kenya, to Somalia as well, and alhamdulillah, our emergency relief program will carry on and go into the long-term phase out until Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala.
Our brothers and sisters in these regions are accustomed to receiving little help. But alhamdulillah, thanks to its donors, Ummah Welfare Trust field teams managed to seek them out. They embraced them, distributed cards, and gave them their provisions. In January alone, Ummah Welfare Trust distributed food packages in 35 villages in the district of Garissa.
وإذا تجلى سره في عبده ملك الدروب وإذا تجلى سره في عبده ملك الدروب
Alhamdulillah, Ummah Welfare Trust has been guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come to small villages like this, which are often not visited by aid organizations. Alhamdulillah, Ummah Welfare Trust has been given a tawfiq by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a result of the sincerity of the donors of the United Kingdom. We've searched out small villages like these. This is a very small village, only 100 families are situated here. Brothers like this and widows we have spoken to are benefiting greatly from this aid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward each and every donor of Ummah Welfare Trust who has donated so generously towards this emergency appeal, and keep the donations coming, inshallah. This is the request from myself and also from the village members here. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, and may Allah give you and I the tawfiq to maintain and keep up our donations.
Some of these villages had as few as 100 families who were traditionally so isolated that they'd rarely if ever seen foreign people.
This is one sister we have met, an elderly sister, one of our mothers, one of our sisters. Her name is Halima Omar, and her daughter is next to her. Her name is Maryam. Now this family, the elderly woman here next to me on my right, they moved here around 2 years ago. And the husband actually passed away 5 years ago from malaria and through malnutrition. Now it has left her, an elderly woman, to take care of 5 children, some of which are disabled. The Prophet ﷺ says, "Irhamu man fil ardi yarhamukum man fis sama." The Prophet ﷺ says that show mercy upon those on the earth, and the one above the heavens will show his mercy upon you.
Alhamdulillah, our brothers and sisters were so happy and amazed that Muslims from so far had remembered them in their difficulties. The hardships and difficulties across East Africa remain, and therefore so should our concern. Ummah Welfare Trust is implementing its largest ever relief project across East Africa, and continues to ask its donors, who open their hearts so readily when called upon, to continue helping. So join hands with Ummah Welfare Trust as they extend hands to Muslims across East Africa this year.
ربنا ابعث فيهم رسولا يتلو عليهم اياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمه ويزكيهم انك انت العزيز الحكيم. اللهم احينا مسلمين وتوفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم.